Coming up on Valley News Live at 10, local reaction as President Biden promises a crackdown on gun control.
Is our current weather a perfect storm for West Nile virus?
Plus, the local baseball players hit a home run for charity. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
If you willfully sell a gun to someone who's prohibited from possessing it, if you willfully fail to run a background check, if you willfully falsify a record, if you willfully fail to cooperate with the tracing request or inspections, my message to you is this: we'll find you.
President Biden announcing today a strategy to crack down on gun violence in the U.S.
His agenda includes supporting local law enforcement with federal resources and stemming the flow of firearms used to commit crimes by making it easier to revoke the licenses of gun dealers who violate federal law. Also helping formerly incarcerated individuals successfully re-enter communities.
Now, the bulk of the plan relies on money already set aside by Congress in the COVID-19 relief bill, with $350 million allocated to state governments. Reaction to the plan has been mixed, with one person telling us this strategy is an example of the president being unsure.
What we have to really do is to enforce the laws we already have. And I think this is a bit of a red herring, because we have a constitutional right to have guns. The Constitution's been very clear on that, and the Supreme Court's been very clear on that.
During the first quarter of 2021, U.S. homicides have increased by nearly 25% from the same period last year, and up by 49% the same time frame during 2019.
Officials with Cass County Vector Control say due to the dry weather, mosquito numbers are down. But these are the same conditions that increase the chance of West Nile virus spreading. Ben Prather says so far it's been a quiet season, but they're sampling mosquitoes every day to indicate traces of the virus. He says the small amounts of rain we've gotten create standing water, breeding grounds for mosquitoes.
And once those conditions started popping up, those temperatures and the rainfall profiles started kind of indicating that we might start seeing some challenges ahead. That's when we started sampling.
So far this season, Cass County Vector Control has tested 13 pools of mosquitoes, and all have been negative for West Nile. Right now, there are no plans for an evening mosquito spray.
As North Dakota experiences its second straight year of dry fields, farmers are no longer questioning how to get through the effects of this year. Instead, it's how to get through next year. The heat is killing the hay crop, and ranchers are struggling to feed their cattle. The drought last year took its toll on grazing pastures, and they weren't able to recover.
This is very brutal, it's very challenging, and the brutal part about it is it's not going to go away after the first rain. It's going to be here for a long time. It's going to affect production next year.
Earlier this month, North Dakota's Ag Department announced it will be opening emergency grazing options through the Conservation Reserve Program, but that won't be available until August.
We told you how a federal judge dismissed the Dakota Access Pipeline lawsuit filed by the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe, but the legal battle over the pipeline isn't over. The judge outlined a path to future litigation if the tribe wishes to pursue it. When the latest environmental impact statement is complete, the tribe can file a separate lawsuit under the same judge if they wish to do so. They can also reopen the dismissed case if there's a violation of the court's prior orders. Officials on both sides of the issue say the judge's decision didn't come as a surprise. However, tribal leaders say they're still concerned about the impact the pipeline will have on the environment.
It's not when, but where it's going to break. So, and like I said, the judge did say that he is open for new evidence.
Senator John Hoeven says the Dakota Access Pipeline is an important part of North Dakota's oil infrastructure and that its continuation is a positive thing for the state.
I mean, it's the most environmentally sound way to move that energy to market. It's got the latest, greatest safety features, so it protects not only Standing Rock, but everybody downstream.
The Army Corps of Engineers has said that the environmental impact statement on the pipeline will be complete in 2022. As beef prices continue to spike across the country, Congress is taking a closer look at possible market manipulation in the packing industry. Our D.C. Bureau reporter Kristen Casper takes us inside today's discussion in Washington.
From farm to fork, beef producers from across the Midwest say something isn't adding up in the cattle market supply chain.
Even with box beef prices at record high, we're not seeing any of that trickle down to the producer level.
South Dakota cattle producer Justin Tupper says these 4 meat packers have saturated the market. He fears they're using a captive supply and deceptive trade practices to turn profits while causing consumers and producers to take a financial hit. Lawmakers have publicly called on the Department of Justice to investigate these claims. Meanwhile, here at the Capitol, the Senate Agriculture Committee held a hearing aiming to find other ways to address the issues.
My job is to make sure that family farmers and producers have a fair and even playing field, and they've got some transparency so that they understand what's happening and what's going on in the market.
The producers in this country need to come around a set of solutions or a solution that we can go to work and try and get across the finish line.
Tupper, also an auctioneer, testified in front of the committee alongside other industry experts who offered up statistics or suggestions for policy changes. But not in attendance, the processors. Although Mark Gardner from Gardner Angus Ranch in Kansas has investment ties with National Beef. He did not respond to our request for an interview, but in his testimony, he defended the processors' value-based pricing system. He encouraged Congress to shy away from additional legislation, saying the supply chain concerns can mostly be blamed on recent black swan events, like the pandemic and a 2019 Kansas Tyson plant fire. In Washington, Kristen Casper, Valley News Live.
The state of Ohio has ended its program, giving away millions of dollars worth of prizes to incentivize residents getting a COVID vaccine. Today, the governor said the program is over and they weren't able to crack the 50% vaccination threshold. Other states followed suit, offering incentive programs, but with similar results. New Mexico's reporting during the first weeks of its sweepstakes, only 85 more people per day got vaccinated compared to the previous week. In Oregon and Colorado, news outlets are reporting vaccination numbers decreased since their sweepstakes were announced.
Today, the first guilty plea in a conspiracy case related to the January 6th riot at the Capitol. Prosecutors say 54-year-old Graydon Young from Florida is a member of the Oath Keepers and that he was posting on Facebook about recruiting for the group in December. He is one of 16 defendants accused of being part of the far-right group that allegedly plotted the insurrection. They say he was in a military-style formation at the Capitol, which cut through the crowd to enter the building. The other defendants in the conspiracy case are contesting the charges against them. A Republican-led investigation in Michigan has concluded that there was no widespread or systemic voter fraud in the 2020 election in that state. Joe Biden won Michigan by more than 154,000 votes. The Michigan Senate Oversight Committee released its 35-page report today. It rejects claims by former President Trump and his allies that Michigan's election was fraudulent. Among the falsehoods the report debunks were claims about unsolicited ballots and votes on behalf of people who have died. The committee did identify vulnerabilities in Michigan's voting system.
Today's hot temps didn't stop a Fargo baseball team from raising money for families in need, and the amount that they were able to rake in even surprised them.
Valley News Team's Aaron Walling brings us this story.
In the summertime, a lemonade stand. This one run by a team of baseball players. Fargo's 10 and under, AA team.
Like almost every single person that came by has always donated.
The kids spent the day in the heat raising funds, not for themselves, but for others. They chose the Ronald McDonald House Charities of the Red River Valley.
It's actually really cool because it's really helping out those people that don't really have that money to stay by their kids.
I think it's really cool because some people that can't do this, we're helping them.
The kids had an ambitious goal in selling lemonade and some baked goods.
We've already made over $45, and that was what we were supposed to get today.
But after their goal was quickly blown out of the water, they regrouped.
It was really exciting. At first I was kind of nervous about changing the goalposts, during the game, but talked to the parents and they're like, yeah, raise it, raise it, raise it.
I was really surprised. I did not think that we would raise that much in that little bit of time.
In a day's work, the players were able to raise more than $1,600, a home run for those in need.
It's great to see that they can have fun and still help out other people. That's what it's all about.
In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
The next step for the kids is to present the check and get a tour of the Ronald McDonald House on July 7th.
Dozens of longtime and new Fargo residents got together tonight for the FM Welcome Party. It was held downtown. The party was hosted by the FM Economic Development Corporation with the hope of helping those who are new to the region connect with others and socialize. There was live music, food, and games. Some new residents say joining together as a community makes all the difference.
If you are willing to reach out to people, if you're willing to interact, if you're willing to engage, most of the barriers can be diminished, reduced, or even removed.
Events like tonight's have been going on since 2013.
A Minnesota couple's baby was given a 0% chance for survival. How he is surprising his family and his doctors is still to come.
But first, Hutch Johnson is back with an update on any storms in the area. He's next. Stay with us.